Are you guys ready for the main event? He has come a long way. You guys should be sharing this all over the Facebooks right now. He has come to us from the left coast of beautiful San Diego, California, via Utah, via Phoenix, all the way to Denver, just to meet you guys and to speak with him. He is the host of one of the most popular podcasts in the business category in all of iTunes, the Passive Income Podcast. Please give a warm Denver social media shenanigans. Welcome to Mr. Pat Flynn.
That was a sweet intro. Wow.
That'll be $5.
$5.
I'm just gonna stand back and let you drop awesome sauce on these people.
I don't know what awesome sauce is, but I'm gonna try and drop it on you. That doesn't sound right though. On a similar level, I want to clarify that the.
Hang on, let's make sure are we good with the audio? Is that good? We were just hearing some scratchy stuff. Keep going. I'm Joe Comm, and I'm here to say I got Pat Flynn in the house today. He's dropping a beat, and I'm busting the rhyme, and he got here just in time. What?
Yeah, that was not planned. And that was the awesome sauce, I guess, that was going to happen. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
We should take that show on the road.
Yeah, we should. Anyway, thanks, guys. How many of you are signed up for the raffle? Yeah, awesome. So if you win the hour with me, I just want to clarify it's an hour of consultation. Some people were asking, like, is it an hour of something else? And no, I'm going to help you with your business. But if you wanted to, if you ever come into San Diego, any of you actually, I love getting coffee, talking business with people. So if you're ever in San Diego, which is where I'm from, hit me up on Twitter, Pat Flynn, Snapchat, Pat Flynn SPI, and we'll hang out and have coffee. I love doing that. So thank you guys so much. I have to tell you a quick story about how I got introduced to Joel, actually. And I don't even know if you know this full story. But it was in 2008.
I don't know, but we should be recording this, I think. So, yeah.
Okay.
There's no phones in the house.
No phones. It was in 2008, after I got laid off, after I started my business helping people pass an exam in the architecture industry. That was kind of my first foray into online business.
You was an architect?
I was an architect. And it was awesome until I got laid off. But I'm so thankful I got laid off. I look back and like that time that was so stressful, so gut-wrenching, actually turned out to be the best thing that ever happened because it showed me what else was out there, showed me these opportunities that were available. But in December, after my business started, I was so hyped up on what else can I do to create a new business. And I heard about this guy who built an iPhone app around Christmas time of 2008 who had sold like 1 million copies of this app, and the app was called I Fart, and it was by
you realize you're summoning a demonstration, right?
And it was created by a guy named Joel Comm, and my buddy and I from high school, we were playing golf, and we're like, dude, this guy named Joel created an app called I Fart, and it sold 1 million different copies. I'm like, dude, we fart too. Maybe we could do something like that. So are you going to do the demo?
I'm trying.
Okay.
My iPhone's going.
Well, my buddy and I, we got so inspired by Joel and his farting application that we decided to create an iPhone app company.
I'm a little backed up.
Ourselves, too. That's okay. Just hold it in. Just let it rip.
Yeah,
are you going to do it? Or?
No, I can't.
Oh, okay.
Does anybody have it on their phone right now? No, it's an old beta, so it expired. I don't have the code.
Okay. Well, anyway, That's what it did.
And still does.
And we cried for hours from laughter. It was awesome. But my buddy and I, we got inspired by that. We're like, we could do that too. Let's get in the App Store. And of course, this was when the App Store was fairly new and there were only about 20,000 apps. So we built an app company. And I don't know if you know this, but in total, we made over $1 million in app sales.
Dude, give it up.
About 27 different apps.
Fantastic.
That were,
I did not know that.
That were all crazy and ridiculous. Thanks to you. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. But it just shows you that we get ideas and inspiration from everywhere. And I think really even down there. And I think it's really important just to keep your eyes and ears open.
Australia?
Yeah, all the way down under. And, one of the things, I go to these conferences a lot. I go to meetups a lot. I love doing this because, I work from home. I'm in my PJs. That's why whenever I go out, I try to dress up and get snazzy. And
he actually has PJs that look just like this.
Yeah, they're tearaway. I just They come off and I'm in bed. But, you know, one of the things I've noticed ever since I started my podcast, more than anything, that has enabled me to scale relationship building in a very personal way. I go to conferences all the time, and I don't know, how many of you listen to the Smart Passive Income podcast? Any of you?
Yeah, look at all those
fans. Thank you guys
fans.
so much. If you don't, you probably should, because I think it's a good show. I hear it's pretty good. But at the top
awesome.
At the top of every show, sometimes I beatbox, but I always have my voiceover guy say a random different fact about me. And the funny thing was, when I came up with the idea to do the podcast and I had this idea to do these random facts, I went to my mentors, people who were podcasting already, and I was like, guys, I got this great idea. I'm going to have the voiceover guy who I'm going to pay share a random fact about me at the beginning of every episode. And I was like, this is going to be awesome. And they're like, Pat, dude, that is the dumbest idea I've ever heard in my life. Why would you share that? Nobody cares. Just get to the meat, right? Like, why would you pay this guy to do it? You're wasting your money. Well, I did it anyway. Yeah, right? Just always do it anyway. I followed my gut, really, and my gut was right, because 25 million downloads later, and top of the business category in iTunes.
How many?
25 million.
25 million downloads of the Passive Income Podcast. Give it up!
It's crazy. Thank you. And I know 24 million were from you, so thank you, Joel. I appreciate that.
I'm a fan.
But I went back to my mentors and I was like, guys, this is actually working. And they were like, Pat, you're a genius. You were right. And I'm like, no, I'm not a genius. I'm just being human. I'm just being a human being. And I think that's really what this is all about. And when we're online, when we're on social media, we have to try and be as human as possible and be as much as ourselves as we can. I think a lot of us try to be like other people. We see other people who are very successful, and we try to do the same things as them, sometimes forgetting who we are or leaving part of ourselves behind. I think it's really important to really grasp on who we are. What is it about you that makes you unique? That's your unfair advantage, because nobody in this world is like you. That is what's going to help you stand out in this crowded world, in your crowded niche, when everybody's fighting for everybody's attention. What happens is, when you put yourself out there, as my buddy Chris Ducker says, I know he's a good friend of yours, your vibe attracts your tribe. And when you build that tribe based on who you are, they're going to be there forever. You're going to build raving fans. They're going to support you through thick and thin. And they supported me through thick and thin, too. And I'm just super thankful for those of you who have listened to the show. I appreciate you so much. And it kind of reminds me of, my son. He's 6 years old now. I have a daughter who's 3 as well. They're at home. I'm really excited because I get to see them tomorrow. I've been on this little tour, I guess you could say. But my son came home from preschool one day, and he came home and he was like, Daddy, so-and-so called me weird today. And I was like, good, because you are weird. And he was like, Daddy, what? And I was like, no, dude, you are weird, and that is awesome, because what makes you weird is what makes you unique. And in this world today, you need to know what makes you weird. And Daddy's weird. Mommy's weird too, but don't tell her that. Your sister's weird.
Wait, wasn't it a Cheap Trick song? Mommy's all right, Daddy's all right, they just seem a little strange. So, what? Young pop.
I don't know.
Can I just point out, in the midst of all this weirdness, that there's a Dalmatian standing right over there?
The eyes are scary on that thing. Seriously. It's just being you, yeah. But just be you. I mean, you have that up there as one of your quotes, right? You be you and I'll be me. So don't even worry about what everybody else is doing. Yes, follow their strategies and their tactics, but also incorporate your own voice, your own style, and be you, because that's what's going to make you stand out. And we have these amazing tools now that are available to us to have us do that even more, to amplify us, to attract more people like us, who vibe with us, who vibe with our education and the things we're trying to provide in this world. Live video now is amazing, and these opportunities that are in front of us, I know a lot of you might be scared of doing that, and I got to tell you, I was deathly afraid of a lot of the things that I do now that I'm still afraid to do. I was like almost going to throw up before I came up here. But you know what? I knew.
There, Pat. there. I don't care about my shoes.
Yeah, wasn't there a bucket over there you were giving away?
With all the raffle
No, but
tickets
seriously,
in
I
it.
get scared. I get nervous, but that nervousness I know now is a sign that whatever it is that I'm scared about is something that matters to me. So whenever you're met with that fear, that resistance, as Stephen Pressfield says from The War of Art, know that it's actually a sign that that is something you are potentially meant to do. And in this world of social media, a lot of us are trying to help other people. If you let your own fears and resistance get in the way, think of who else might suffer because of that. And for me, that's what always keeps me moving forward. It's all about my audience and what I can do for them. And I don't try to let my fears get in the way. I just use it as a sign and I actually go there to those fears. And that's why I'm up on stage today. That's why I have a podcast. That's why I'm getting comfortable with live video. And hopefully that just serves as a great lesson and a reminder for those of you out there. And I'm just making this up. Like I didn't script this like I used to script my stuff. Like
He's doing great though, isn't he?
Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate that. But I could always resort back to the beatbox because you guys resonated with that.
Right, that worked.
So.
That actually worked. You're really humble too, and I know whenever anybody says that, it's like, yeah, I know, it's like hard. But you publish your financials, right,
I do,
for everybody to see. So I'm going to ask you to step out of your humble shoes for a moment. And somebody once said to me, it's not bragging if you can do it. Oh, there he's out of his humble shoes. And I want you to tell people how much money, so you guys can be inspired here. This is not to brag on Pat, but really I think his heart is to say, look, if he can do this, anybody can follow their dream and their passion and do this. So how much money did you put up as your revenue for April on the passive income site?
$166,000.
What? And that's not your biggest month.
No. It blows my mind, too. It literally blows my mind. But I also know that my feet are cold, so I'm going to put my shoes
stepping back into his humble shoes.
And
I also know that I'm not worthy. But
no, I mean, it's just... I keep surprising myself. And I was talking to people earlier about just how I always keep surprising myself about how far I can go. And I think it just shows us that we all have these limiting beliefs about how far we can go. And that's why right now my big inspirations are people like Elon Musk and people who it just seems like what they think about anything is possible, right? And I'm trying to adopt that mindset because if I keep putting these limiting beliefs on myself, I'm potentially going to let a lot of people down or not help as many people.
There are no limits.
There are no limits. Are you trying to hypnotize me right now? It sounded like that.
There are no limits. Sleep. You're a Dalmatian. That was two of you. I wasn't planning this, but I'm just curious. Does anybody have a question they want to ask Pat?
AskPat.com.
Come on up here. Come on up. Let's. I'll take two more if you want
Mike,
to ask
right?
a question. Brenton. Okay. What's your name, man?
His name's Mike.
Mike.
Mike, get the mic.
Do you ever? Well, I know you guys are all friends. You like JLD and the folks who publish the income reports. Do you ever get like a little bit disappointed when he's like, I just threw up like $600K this month?
I don't get disappointed. I'm very proud of him, but I do want to shoot higher. I mean, there's healthy competition there, and I think that's always cool to have somebody who is doing better than you to look up to. And it's cool because he started later than me, so I'm learning from him. I'm adopting a lot of strategies. That's how I've been able to actually create my podcast called Ask Pat on top of the show that I have because I learned directly from him. I went to him and I said, John, how do you create 7 episodes a week? Like, you are a machine. How do you do this? He's like, well, I batch process and I outsource the editing of it. And we schedule way ahead of schedule. And I was like, I can do that. And so as much as these people seem like machines and just cranking out content, there's systems in place to make it better and faster and easier. And when you start out, it's going to be hard. When you start out, it's not going to seem like a machine. But as you go through it, as long as you're conscious about what you can do to improve your efficiency, you can get things going faster and thereby serving more people and in turn get a better reward.
Rock on. Brenton, you had a question? Come on up, my friend.
Thank you, Joel. Pat, I really enjoyed our conversation earlier. So my question is not directly about the work that you do, but it's a request to make of you. So I love freestyling, and I was wondering if you'd be willing to do a little beatbox right now.
Oh!
Do a little bit more. Okay. So I want to get you guys involved a little bit. I want 3 words. There's 3 random words, so shout it out. Cupcake. Startup. And what? Poof, like poof? Okay. So it's musical like Fiddler on the Roof. I'm like a magician, and yes, I'm yelling poof. It's like you gotta go and you gotta make it so sleek. I'm like a startup, oof, Denver startup week. So we're bringing it back because we're rolling around. Because it's like we're gonna do it all in the ground. Because it's gory oratory, that's morally derogatory. That expository expedition in your auditory. Bringing it back because it's what's at stake. And I'm like sweet, just like a cupcake. So we are breaking it down. We must all win. I got my boy here. He's on his Pat Flynn. So it's all good because we know it's on. The guy behind me is Joel Comm. We're having a good time. Yes, it is sublime. And it's right now. It's the right time. So bring it together because we are together. Do it right now in any weather. So like a group, we all win. Joel Comm, it's social media shenanigans.
That was awesome.
Wiki, 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 wiki. What?
That was epic, dude.
Wait, what? Man.
I wish I could flow like that. Dang.
I was about to speak into my glass of wine.
That is talent. Dude, all my rhymes were like, my name is Pat,
Dude.
I have a hat, and I don't have a cat. Like, that's so lame, but oh my gosh, that was amazing.
Let's, so apparently this is now Denver's Got Talent. So anybody else got any stupid human tricks they want to do? By the way, that wasn't stupid.
No,
that was
it
awesome. Any other questions for Pat? This is a great opportunity. Come on up. Not only speak to Pat personally. Yeah, come on up here.
And
This
I'm
is,
not going
Ray.
anywhere, so if you want to ask
Ray,
me something
Ray.
in private, feel free.
What's up, Joel? Thanks for hosting.
Ray, what's up?
What's up, Pat? Long time. Nice to see you again. All right, quick question. So you got so many skills: architect, food trucker, blogging, podcasting, all sorts of amazing stuff. For people who have various specialties, how did you decide to go all in on Smart Passive Income and the podcast? I think it's difficult for a lot of people to really fully commit.
You know, it's a similar approach to what Gary Vaynerchuk does with a lot of the social media platforms out there. You know, he tries them all and just kind of gauges which ones seem to resonate most with his audience. That's why he's so big on Snapchat right now. Pat Flynn SPI, by the way. And, you know, I take a similar approach. I try and experiment with a lot of different things, and I see not only what I feel like I resonate most with, but with who I'm serving, which ones actually get the biggest response. And by far, the podcast, when I was trying all these different platforms, seemed to just make the biggest impact. And it kind of makes sense because my voice is in their head, like literally in their head, and they get to take me with them on car rides and trips and, you know, everywhere. And it's a great way to scale that relationship building. And so you just have to be conscious about what you're doing and the results of what you're doing. I think a lot of people get in trouble when they just try, go, and they're just trying to stay busy. And you know the hustle thing, right? Like, hustling is important, but if you are hustling and not listening or hustling and not paying attention, you're just going to hustle yourself to death. And so hustle comes with another side of it, which is how well are you paying attention to the work that you're doing and how well is it actually bringing you results? Does that make sense? Yeah, so that's how you do it. Thanks.
Thanks, Ray. Speaking of Snapchat, come stand, let's see, right here. And what we're going to do is I'm going to start a snap, and then we're going to move apart, and you guys are going to go wild, right? Here we go. Oops, that's a picture. I hate when that happens. Still can't figure out which button. Yeah, I'm the expert, right? We're at Social Media Shenanigans with Pat Flynn. Woo! Now that is a snap. And we got to use, did you put that one up? How did that happen?
No, I didn't put that up. Somebody, who put the hello, my name is Pat
who did the Smart
geotag on
Passive
there?
Income?
You did that? Dude, thank you.
You did that?
How did you do that?
This guy submitted a geofilter on behalf of Smart Passive Income without Pat even knowing.
Thank you.
I was just explaining geofilters to Pat before y'all got here, and he's like, how do I do that? And then one shows up. I'm like, you are magic.
I thought it was like a 48-hour period.
Right, it is. Let's take one more question. Who's got a really solid question for Pat? This is your chance. Come on. Anybody? Yeah, come on up. Andrea. Her question is, how are you so awesome?
So, Pat, I want to know what you do to keep your mindset positive. What happens when you get disappointed? How do you move past that, beyond that, and keep going?
So a couple things. Meditation has been big for me over the past year and a half. That I thought was just this kind of woo-woo, sit cross-legged like this for an hour thing. And I was like, no, that's weird. But I started to try it because I started to hear all these entrepreneurs doing it and saying how great it was. I was like, it can't be a cult thing if everybody, like all these great people are talking about it. And then I tried it. And then at first it didn't work because I was like, well, I don't get it. You know, how was I know if this was actually going to work or not? I used an app called Headspace, which I know a lot of people use. A lot of people put their hands up just now. It's a great app that's like guided meditation, and it really soothes you, gets your brain to just breathe a little bit. But I actually use a device called the Muse, M-U-S-E, which actually looks like a headband, and it has brain sensors and stuff. Anyway, it gives you immediate feedback on whether or not you're focused or not. And that helps me because I need immediate feedback. I love gamification of stuff. That's how I know that I'm improving. So that's the first thing. But the second thing by far is that when I get into stressful moments, when I get down, when I don't want to do anything anymore, I'm kind of pretending like I'm rapping right now. Like
He just
Brenton
whistles
was.
a happy tune.
No, you know what I do? I have a wall in my office that has hundreds of thank you notes from people that they've handwritten, and I put them up there because I do get stressed out. I do feel like I don't want to do anything anymore sometimes, and I just turn around and I see that wall there of people who I've affected their lives, and I am just immediately back to where I should be. Because then I remember, well, this is not, like, I have to get through this for these people and other people out there who might not take the time to actually write back. And then also a specific tag in my Gmail for thank you notes. Like, I keep track of all that. And it might sound weird and almost sound kind of like cocky, I guess, to look at that. But no, I don't feel like that gives me energy. And that's my why. And whatever your why is, you have to remember what that is. That's what's going to help you go through those tough times.
Thanks, Andrea. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Pat Flynn. Booyah.